I'm going to assume that most of us know why there's an equal pay gap, but who's been pressing this equal pay gap more than anyone else? Now, we have feminist groups, obviously, then there are feminist politicians, but more than anyone else, the people who drive this and just relentlessly drive it are the mainstream media. And I've started to come to the conclusion now, the article I'm going to read to you in a moment, my conclusion now is that the reason that the women in the media drive it so hard is because they can get more money from it themselves, and their cowardly male colleagues just won't stand up to their bullshit. Now, I'm going to read you an article, and it's an excellent article from pressgazette.co.uk, and I hadn't heard of them until today, and this is from an article just under 2 months ago, and the title of it is Channel 4's first female chief executive admits 28.6% gender pay gap makes for uncomfortable reading. Now, Channel 4 employs Cathy Newman, who got into that infamous debate with Professor Jordan Peterson, and she's complained about the pay gap in the media. I will give her credit for this, at least she's prepared to open her mouth about it. By the way, the article's by Charlotte Tobit, and I'll leave a link to it in the comments section and pin it to the top. So Channel 4, along with other media broadcasters in this country that go on and on and on about the pay gap, they pay their men more than they pay their women. Does that mean that they're breaking the 1970 Equal Pay Act? No, they won't. They can't. If they were, they'd be sued. Channel 4 has, this is the start of the article now, Channel 4 has revealed a mean gender pay gap of 28.6%, more than 3 times the pay gap between men and women at rival broadcaster the BBC. This is the BBC that is openly racist against whites and openly sexist against men, and has in the past been openly sexist through girls-only education courses against boys. Although Channel 4 employs more women than men, so no complaints from the Cathy Newmans of the world, this world about that, 59% to 41%. Now, I have no problem with that at all, whatsoever. The gender pay gap is increased as there are more men in higher paid roles. Yeah, well, and we all know why that's the case. The public service broadcaster also reported a mean bonus gap of 47.6%, favouring men. Men negotiate their pay better than women. Alex Mahon, Channel 4's first female chief executive, admitted the pay gap figures made for uncomfortable reading and revealed plans to target a 50-50 gender balance in the top 100 earners at the company by 2023. I don't care who earns what there, but how is she going to achieve this other than by discrimination? I don't know. If it can be achieved on a merit, based on merit, then that I couldn't care less. Currently, men make up 66% of this group. The broadcaster also admitted it was unlikely to ever reach a gender pay gap of 0 in its gender pay report released today. Mahon said there is no quick fix, but identifying the complex and multiple reasons behind our pay gap is the first step towards tackling the fundamental issues at play. Well, one of the fundamental issues is most definitely not discrimination. I don't believe Channel 4 discriminated against their female employees for one moment. And as far as there is no quick fix, I'd say there's no problem. And there's that old Americanism. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just let things be natural. She continues, while we employ significantly more women than men, okay, there is an imbalance in the ratios at the higher and lower earnings parts of the business. We have more men in higher paid roles and more women in lower paid roles. Yes, we all know that's one of the major reasons for the pay gap. There are more female nurses than male nurses. There are more men working in sewers than there are women. It's job choice, and I don't care. It would be perverse for us to reduce the number of women in lower paid roles, and we want to continue to be an attractive place for women to work. Indeed, we must reduce the gap by focusing on increasing the proportion of women in higher paid roles. How can you do that? unless you're discriminating. The median gender pay gap at Channel 4 is 24.2% with a 28.6% median bonus gap. A review of around 300 employees' pay by external counsel commissioned by Channel 4 found no evidence of a systematic equal pay problem at the broadcaster. Well, there you are. There's no discrimination, so why are you even bothering? Mahon said the company is nonetheless not complacent over equal pay, and that it will introduce a number of steps, sounds like discrimination, to ensure an approach to pay that is always as fair and transparent as possible, providing it doesn't discriminate to whatever the hell you want, but that's what I'm fearful of. In the gender pay report, these reports shouldn't even be necessary, but unfortunately they're legal now in the UK. Channel 4 said it employs a higher proportion of women, boasting 59%, than other UK public service broadcasters, but there's no concern about employing less men than women, apparently. ITV's makeup is 52% women. Channel 5 owner Viacom is 51% women. The BBC is 40% female. I swear to God, when I left it, when I got rid of my TV donkeys years ago, it seemed like every single presenter was a bloody female. And Sky Television is 42% according to the report. Channel 4's owner, ITN, which also owns ITV News and Channel 5 News, last week revealed a mean gender pay gap of 19.6%, which as female journalists described as disappointing. And ITN, when I used to watch TV, they used to go on and on about the equal pay gap. ITN similarly attributed its pay gap to the fact it has fewer women than men in senior leadership roles. Yes, exactly. Thank you. No problem. A report into gender pay imbalance at rival public service broadcaster the BBC, published in October 2017, found that women earn 9.3% less than men on average, but found no systemic discrimination against female staff. Yeah, I'm quite sure, but the BBC has openly discriminated against white males. I'm not sure how much I can do more of this. Oh, here's a significant point actually. Although slightly more women than men received bonuses at Channel 4, 88.4% compared to 87.9% received bonuses in 2017, there are more men in senior positions with higher bonus rates. The bonus gap is further increased by the fact that 22.7% of Channel 4's female employees work on a part-time basis, and that is an enormous factor as to why, on average, female employees there get paid than less. And I think I'll leave it by saying Channel 4 said it aims to boost career progression for women at senior levels by supporting more than 200 women over the next few years with a women's development program. There you go. If they don't have a male equivalent, it's called discrimination. Thank you.